Hey everybody, this is Dan with Avant Novis. Just the camera. I'm so sorry about this. I should have done it beforehand. I didn't know it was that bad. I hope everybody is having a safe day and a happy day. I know it's really stressful for a lot of people. To my friends, family members, and to the audience who are having a hard time with jobs, um, first and foremost, I've in a way been there. Um, we've I just hope you know that thoughts are with you. Good juju, prayers, and if there's anything I can do, please let me know. Today, this is one for our team. Well, not team, the Outrage team that there's members. We're currently creating a very large map, and we have the dimensions of it, and we'll look at that. I think this applies to I think this stream is going to be targeted at people who really need gigantic maps. I'm going to show you exactly how big this is. We're going to try to duplicate the actual landforms and mountains and terrain. The hard part about this is those mountain terrains are extremely small. So let's go in here. This map, let me show you the map really quick. That is not a map. This is our map with Outrage. Yes, there's a lot of mountains, but those will smooth out. Let me show you the texture I've used. I've already textured this. But I think the best thing with this video, the best thing that people might be able to pick up on is just some ways that we can, this is me exploring ways we can duplicate the Earth, Earth in a very large frame. So this layer here I'm keeping about 40%. These are not the colors the map are going to be. These are just the colors that we currently have. Let's go ahead and look at Google Earth. Again, Google Earth free program. Oops. That is kind of interesting to operate. The size of the map we're doing, just throw that in there really quick. We'll select our border tool here. And we're looking at about 3,000 to 4,000 square miles. Let's go ahead and zoom that in. Oops. And then I want some cold areas, so we're going to go about, let's go another 5,000, 4,000. Well, that's 4,000. Let's zoom into that, zoom into that. A little bit bigger than that, so let's go over here. Right, so that's about the size we want. So this is going to be our reference, and we will put this together, and I'm just going to clear this map, and we are going to control print screen, go into the greatest painting software ever, which is Windows Painter. Just going to grab this right here. Control C, new, don't save, Control V. I'm going to create a reference off that. Then we're going to close out Google Earth, because with the size of this, the painting that we're doing is, we're looking at, well, that. This is 36 inches by 24 inches with a pixel count of 450. and a lot of layers. But we're going to go to the trace option or the reference option. Load a reference. Oh, I should probably show one. Ooh, sorry about that as everybody's ears explode. Stop. It's on the desktop. Just double checking here. There we go. I'm going to keep this one a little on the bigger side. Pull that down so we can get kind of a feel. We're pull back down too much, but we'll figure it out. So this is going to be our biggest mountains. Actually, let's do something a little bit different. Let's do something a little bit different. We're going to keep this about that size because I want the colors, and I'm just going to move it off screen onto my second screen. Then I'm also going to load up a reference into this to see the mountains. And we're going to grab one of our brushes to make sure it is the same size here. Experiment here. This is the 25 glitter. Creates a very large mass of paint. That's going to be your biggest mountains. So let's go ahead and look over here, and we have the big mountains of that same size. Let's look for these smaller hills. There we go. Let's drop this down to about 10. Start from there. We get, that looks about right. You can see the much difference. Turn up the pressure, turn up the glitter size. Oh yeah, that feels good. Gotta make sure we go over that a couple times. Let's check 5%. Okay, so we got 10 and 5, and we'll use that to create some more texture. Okay, I'm going to delete this test layer. Oh, window's closed. I hope everybody's doing. Okay. All right, let's get started. Now, these videos I usually just ramble on, and I talk a lot about, what I think and what I feel. And I hope that's okay. If you don't like that, go ahead and mute the video. I'm gonna match this. I'm gonna match these other mountains. Now I'm painting on. No, definitely not that. Let's go with a lighter. Okay. We'll recolor these mountains to make them all even later. I've already textured everything. This is its own individual layer that I'm doing the mountains on. That way, if I don't like the mountains, or if I want to edit them because they're driving me nuts in some way, that's a really easy way to do it. And also, by doing this, I am not destroying any of the surface of, any of the work I've done. And a couple references, guys. Someone that's really helped me is a gentleman. Let me find him. This is John. This is his webpage. I highly suggest you. This is onlinetabletop.com, and since we're all stuck in home, and since we're all stuck in we're all stuck in something one way or another. This is a good friend of the channel. So he's absolutely wonderful. I think he has some great assets. He has like And he also has one of my favorite things, his cartography, also his campaigns, his map making, art. The guy is downright brilliant. So check him out. That's a tool to help you. Also, we do the map packs. There's one free. I'll link it in the. There's actually a huge one free, and I'll link that in the description for anybody that's interested in that. Okay, now we're back. Now we're just working on these mounts. You're just having a good time. This is therapy for me. I haven't done this in a very long time because I've been dealing with. There's been medical stuff with me, and medical stuff with my extended family, which is infinitely more difficult. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what happens when loved ones get sick, when you have to make hard decisions. I had a relative that had an accident, and they got hurt really bad. This relative was older, and they were on the floor for way too long, and they got really damaged. After a stay in a now this is not a depressing sob story because leave that to other YouTubers. This is one of hope because my mom, who is an absolute saint, just like your mom or anyone else's, she took this relative in, and she'd already when my dad got sick and passed, she'd taken care of him for 15 years. Now she's taking care of my relative, and for all of us, it's hard. We really want to help out more. We really want to be there for my relative and my mom. But there was a choice we had to make, a choice she made. Either put my relative, it's my aunt. Either put them put her in a resting home or a rehab center continually, or take her home and take care of her because some of my relatives just didn't have the space or the desire to take my aunt in. That's okay. And my mom did it, and things are so well. Now, I'm not advocating that we all have to take our parents. I'm advocating, or, sick relatives. I'm advocating that sometimes you have to make really hard decisions. The decisions that were made to bring my aunt home were absolutely difficult. But at the same time, they were, honestly, I believe, and my mom believes, that it was the best thing for my aunt. However, there are some times when you have to put a relative, you have to let someone else watch out for a relative or loved one or a parent. Now, I don't have and it's hard. The hardest thing is to know what is best for them, especially people that are a little bit older because they're starting to fight for their independence, and they're starting to fight for their rights to choose, and that to me is very important. And when that happens, difficult decisions are made, and sometimes there's a lot of frustration towards caregivers or those that are closest around them. I think what I'm trying to say is I've made up in my mind what happens if I get sick, because I've been dealing with that. So mainly, we'll talk about that a little, I think. But to those who are making those choices, thank you for being brave. And thank you for being willing to change someone's life. And for those that choose another person to help take care of their relative, good for you. Good for you for identifying what your relative needs the most. And I know it's hard, and I know there's people that will poo-poo it, saying you need to, it's about family and stuff like that. But it really is when you make a choice like that. Anyways, back to the math. Right now, I put some texture under a layer. I've used some alpha brushes. Look at our previous videos. And underneath this, I put those layers down. And I'm just kind of following the random crest of the mountains, using the same size as much as I can from our reference and from our transparency we're using with Art Rage and that reference inside. If you're not familiar with Art Rage, it's it's probably my favorite realistic painting program. I know there's a lot, and there are many like it, but this one is mine, and I absolutely adore it. Also, we do have a Facebook that is the Avant Novis community, and we have one of our members who is absolutely, you got to see what he's doing, because it is absolutely amazing. Let me see if I can look him up for you. Now I have my phone on, so if it beeps or dings or anything like that, please forgive it. And I have the new Facebook. I have the new Facebook app, and of course it gets me a little bit confused on how it works. But I hit 41 now, so I just want technology to work, not yeah. I hate when everything just shifts around and nothing works. Let's see. There we go. Let me find. You're welcome to this Facebook. You're welcome anytime. William. Let me find him. He's has some maps to sell. I'll put his in. I'll get his permission first, and then we will. I'll show you what he's done. It's amazing. John. Just big shout outs to everyone in this group. So, and thank you for your support. Back to map making. Again, I'm kind of using the example of the Middle East. And these are the very highest peaks I'm using. Some of these will be connected, some won't. Some will be, static. Some won't. Some will be really gigantic. But if I'm looking at this, we've got these little tiny mountain ranges like this. They're only a few. This is 32 inches. It would be very small. Now we have the Alps right here. The Alps, and then we go down here, Turkey and Iran, Iraq. Of course, we have those really good things. And, we've got some mountains up here in Russia. So I'm getting an idea of how big things are, our desert lands. The beautiful Africa, where there's no vampires because they bless the rain. Sorry, dad joke. Okay, we're going with that off screen. Now, our main areas that we have, I'm going to bring this up to my opacity to 100 on the texture level. Main, let's go ahead and go back to tracing. Now, this is currently really dark, and I don't think that's going to serve us well. So let's go ahead and we're going to paint this with our airbrush. This layer, anyways. I'm going to paint this a light, let's go with a light kind of, maybe a darker. I'm just going to go in. The latest update of Outrage has really made a lot more things effective to use, and you don't get so much memory uses. Again, absolutely adore the program. Not really sponsored by them. Last year, I'd say that we were getting a lot of traffic, but and there was we used some links from them if people were interested in programs like Outrage that go there and we get credit for it. We actually never made any money off that, which is fine. But just full disclosure, they've helped us out, especially their director of marketing. Thank you. He got a phone call really late one night, and apparently they had stumbled upon what we do here, and he just was excited, asked us to do live streams and stuff, and feature us on the website, and that still blows me away that someone was so kind. And you know what? I think that's what I'm getting at today is the kindness of, hey, Mr. B, how are you? I hope you're doing great. I'm just painting and stuff and rambling today. Kind of rambling about hope and about, people need it. I'm also kind of rambling about hard times and kind of what people go through. Because I think we need to talk about that and kind of focus on others. But Mr. B Plays, thank you so much for being in the channel today. If you have anything to add, please let us know. There we go. Get some more maps done. Now that we're all gray, you can kind of see the textures better. And so this is the very largest we're going to get on our mountains. So let's go back to our mountain layer. And we're going to go back to our glitter tool. And we're going to now drop that down to, let's say, 10%. Now we have some hard decisions to make. I'm going to add another layer to kind of help us. We're going to go back to our airbrush. And we're going to decide on where the biggest mountain ranges are. And we're going to have a fault line, 2 plates. Maybe this here is, let's actually make some plates before we do this. We want a plate here that's pulling apart. And it's pulling apart here. Maybe it's kind of crushing into these. So I want these mountains big here. So we'll focus on that. And also maybe this plate is breaking up into here. Because we got some force here. And maybe kind of right here. Then we're going to have older mountains through this area. Older mountains like the Appalachians in this area. Let's actually paint those in. Oops. Did I hit save? Please tell me you didn't hit save. Oh, I hit save. My bad. Since we're dealing with a file that's like a couple gigs, this is going to take a little while. So let's go back here and change stuff. To answer a question, the green screen is still here. I've chosen to do this because it's a lot easier for me to set up, and we have 4 computer stations now because my wife's working at home and my kids are home, and so things are really cluttered. So I really don't have the space to put up a green screen and make it all fancy dancy and stuff like that. And I hope you guys are okay with that. Something with Outrage that I found, let's go back to live, is when you save a file this big, it expands it, then condenses it. From what I've seen and from what I understand, it might be a little bit different. Sorry about the mic little chatter on that. We're getting a new one. But it kind of takes a long time. But that's fine. We continue to look at this. Let's come up with our reference again. Not a trace, but actually a reference. And of course, I've lost it. We're not gonna mess with our rage. Just leave it alone for a little bit. And I think when you're designing the world, now this is going to be a big world. This is the pretty much the one of three continents in it. But this is where all the action is going to take place in a campaign. Um, and I'm really excited about this. This one I'm really excited about. It took a while to create, but I'm pleased with it. A couple things in the next couple days. I'm going to be using some software programs that are pretty much designed. Excuse me. Pretty much designed. Well, I use them for my role playing groups, and you can create some just beautiful scenery. It doesn't take long. It's not difficult. These are just reviews, and they're really cheap. They're like $10 on Steam right now, but they're absolutely amazing because of what you can do with it. And that'll be a little bit later this week. We're safe now. That's good. That's good. And with Outrage at any time, since you're working with a lot of big files, I usually don't want to. Maybe we have another comment smashing in here. Smashing. Yeah. It's in there too because we got this big Rift Valley. It's this giant Rift Valley right here that is going places. So now that we know kind of where we want, let's go ahead and drop that orange down to 30. Let's come back with our giant brush here. Oops. And we will start. We're going to keep this a little darker. But again, we're going to change its color once we start blending. Actually, let's make more mounts. We're going back up to 25 at this resolution. You just kind of have to play with your resolution again. Anybody else in chat? No one today. Oh, couple of you. Thank you. Hi guys. Again, we're on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. You can find all our rebroadcasts on YouTube and links to it on Facebook. Yeah, this is going to be big mountains here. So we're going to put these big spines. Right. We got to make a crumple effect. And all our little splits off the mountain are going to go away from that because it's actually upheaving, the ground's upheaval, I should say. English is hard. There we go. There we go. Let's go down here. Now, since these are going to be our biggest mountains, we gotta make sure we're consistent with the size. Again, I kind of screwed up the color a little. You really can't see. There's some lower color mountains there. I should have made everything this dark so I can see it. Again, on this channel, this is what we do. No, we don't hide stuff when we're painting or polish stuff because experience is a lot better if shared. It will just have an old mountain there too. That's good. So let's come back up here. Yeah, let's come back up here. And we're going to make the mountain range here. Now the next step is we're going to make these smaller mountains. Here in a second, but we want to get these gigantic mountains right there. Yeah, that's good. That's good. This one's crushing it. Just a lot of crazy ranges. You don't want to get too crazy with this because, well, if we do, we can always use these mountains as a texture. That's a little too much for that. Let's go to maybe 50%. There we go. That's nice. Okay. That's a little too many mountains, but so we're going to use them as texture later. Let's go to our big mountains now, and we're going to bump this down to 10. And we're going to bump this up to 50. Just give the orange a little bit more. Just plain. Since we're squishing over here, we are going to make all the little, let's go. Let's turn down pressure a little on our glitter. Maybe glitter size and up the pressure. Yeah, that feels a lot better. We're just going to make the little offshoots, the things that make the mountains really cool. We're going to follow this texture underneath it. Because that texture I spent, that was hard, but the scale matches as best I can to that giant 4,000 by 5,000 kilometer map. Why so big? Because I want it to be able to use. There might be some magic mixed with technology, so that's going to make the process of exploration a lot more interesting. But at the same time, the world a lot more small. So I wanted kind of the key player and area in this world. It's going to be this continent. I might add some larger islands around it, just for feels. Now, right now, I'm just using my mouse. My pen, I'll do that for the detail work, like going in and just smoothing everything out. But when you're doing something like this, just for the base of the mountains in Art Rage, all you're doing is you are putting down paint. And of course, the mouse will always read at 100% pressure, or the max pressure you assigned up brush. And that will cause a more consistent pattern when we're laying down mountains, or the basic mountains. My wife is currently, thanks for the question, my wife is currently working from home. We were again, I'm very religious, so I feel we've been blessed by that opportunity for her job. For those that are out of a job, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, we're subject to the agency of others, and sometimes, a lot of times, that agency causes bad effects. If you lost your job and going through something like that, I've been there. I have been there. That's actually one of the reasons I had a bunch of medical problems, mentally and physically. However, I'm finding ways to get over that. I'm finding ways to fight the depression, fight the anxiety, and they're good ways, and they're really good ways. Exercise helps a lot, but you know what's better? Eating, way differently, eating in a healthy way. We took a class, and we had a actual doctor that specializes in nutrition. I forget the qualifications. They're not anybody can be a nutritionist. That's not something we could say I'm a nutritionist or your pet's a nutritionist, but when it comes to food advice or what you should eat and help with lifestyle changes, look for someone with an actual degree. And man, they'll teach you some wonderful things. And I'm finding that's helped me more than anything. I also, this January, found out I have gallbladder issues. So I really changed my diet. I actually, there's no Dr. Pepper anymore on my table. And honestly, I feel better. Granted, in the morning, it's hard to get up. And granted, in the morning, it's painful sometimes to, open your eyes and live. But I'm feeling it, for me, anyways, I feel so much better. So it's water and low sugar fruit drinks for me. And it's really helped with the anxiety, the depression, and the feeling, and the feeling bad. Yeah, this Mount Air is bugging me, so I'm probably going to texture the crap out of it. And again, our mountains, something I like to do is have the mountains resemble lightning at first. And then I'll go in and texture them and do whatever needs to be done with them. Of course, I need to start putting smaller little. I really don't like this mountain range. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I really don't like it. So, goodbye, mountain range. Anything like that. Instead of a continuous, let's go in here. We're just going to put little tiny mountains all across this. That fork off and kind of do whatever they want. There we go. There we go. Kind of put them in between. I'm waiting for the 5%, 5% to put them in between. It just helps. Of course, we're going to have to be very careful with our brushes. We're going to be very careful where we're putting stuff. However, those happy accidents that will eventually happen, we're going to be looking for those and enjoy them when they happen. There we go, a little more, and oh, some down there, some down there. There we go. I like that one right there. That's a good one. This one up here, I bet it's the color I'm using, because there's a different color behind it. And it doesn't, I'm not feeling the good juju there on that mountain. So let's go back to here, and again, we're gonna have all the crackly stuff now. Put it in here. Maybe a few mountain ranges in here. There we go. Just kind of planning it. Again, we're gonna use, let's bring up those orange. Let's bring up what we designed. And get rid of the opacity there. Well, bring it up. And I'm gonna actually, right now, go in here and we're gonna make some continents. Just kind of help planning up the map of what they're doing. And that was on the wrong layer. My bad. So we're gonna have a continent here that is moving out. We probably have a big tectonic feature. Let's go, yeah, like that. Let's put that there. And this part's only beginning to squish. So we're talking, well, should look at the timeline. This one's really squishing. And we're going to have our other, so we've got island its own. This is our other plate. And of course, this guy here is going to be another. Oh, we'll do this. There we go. Like that. Of course, we got one here. All right. This one is this plate. I think it's going to be going this way. Of course, this plate is, this one's angry. It's like the rifts in Africa, so it's splitting the land apart. Even though there's blessed rains in Africa. Sorry, favorite song. One of them, anyways. And this plate, of course, is not as bad, but it's still getting pushed. It really hasn't started crumpling yet. But this one, oh yeah, super squished, super. All right, let's take that into the opacity for 30%. One thing I love about maps is when you get into a position and they start taking a life of their own. Oops, not right. Go back to the darker. darker preset on this. All right. I hope you can see my mouse. Got some mountains right here. I'm just going to go boop, and boop, and boop. Oh, that reminds me, I need to go over to Twitch and change my... I need to go over to Twitch TV and change my channel. Oh, someone's really loud. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. Oh, I had this on Magic together, and I probably... Ah, that's loud. Oh, I had this on Magic together, and I'm sorry, guys. And again, there we go. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, Twitch. I do apologize then. I've been asking for help on a Magic deck recently, and it's been kind of special. Might do that later or start a stream on that with another. We're talking about, me and my business partner and a couple others, we're talking about creating just a channel, maybe for gaming, maybe for just talking. The reason we do that is we're doing a lot of Avant Novis is doing a lot of custom works for various peoples and various companies. It's not really centered on the games, but it is centered on, we're a business. We're trying to make some money in Dosh, but at the same time, we're really small. And right now it's more of I don't want to say it's more of a hobby, but we're definitely making what we like and how we're doing that. My best advice for businesses or for doing anything with a business is get someone that really knows how to do it. I do in a certain way know how to run an entertainment business, but when it comes to an actual money side or that, my business partner really helps out with that. Also, my wife does. She's a lot sharper than me, that's for sure. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm Dan. We're planning out maps and making mountains in Art Rage. Alright, we got the crushies going on here. This is just going to follow this, and we're just going to keep these to the plate. Little tiny mountains. I might bump this up to 15 because I'm having to 15% of the kill set. And again, that's 15% of 460 pixels per square inch. Oh yeah, that's flowing a lot better. We're going to keep that. We're actually going to go to these little places here and add these little mountain things from the texture. We're just going to add kind of some peaks and valleys. That's going to enforce the texture that's underneath it. We got about a half hour left in stream. So, actually, my wife has a meeting, so I'm probably gonna mute my voice and just put on some music for you. And again, if you want to see the end of this, please go ahead and zip to the end. Not gonna hurt my feelings. But I hope you kind of get an idea on how I'm doing mountains, because I like realistic maps. Again, if you're like a mystical mage and stuff like that, the first thing I do is send up an eye of whatnot up into the atmosphere to study where I'm at. And that's kind of what I want to produce here. And I'll also make probably just a standard map, just a standard fantasy map using Wonder Draft or Incarnate. I really need to look at Incarnate and see what they're doing there. I haven't touched that in so long. Oops, those are going the wrong direction. You know what? I'm just going to keep them. Maybe make them less. I'm just going to keep these. There we go. Show the crunch. All right. On second thought, I think just listening to music while someone is boringly painting. eh. So I'm going to probably end the live stream. You guys get the idea of what I'm doing. And I hope this helps. I hope this helps either in trying, either in using another program. Next stream, I might just show you the finished product here, but we are going to put some software, just review some software, show you how it works, show what we like about it, what limits us. For reviews, I kind of like doing what we like and what limits us versus bad or anything like that, because if you're going to use the software, I'd rather show you how to get around stuff. But thank you so much for coming in, so much for seeing you guys again. It's been far too long and far too few videos, but I think I'm back, and we'll talk a little bit later. So I'm just gonna throw some music on and end the live stream. Take care. God bless. Good juju for everybody. If you need anything, please let me know. If you need maps and can't afford them, shoot me an email at avantnovis.com. The maps are found at DriveThruRPG. If you're having a hard time, just shoot me an email and let's figure something out. I also have a free bundle there. Again, shameless promotion, but I think it is. It's the best I can do. Thank you for coming. I really do appreciate it. And have a wonderful day, and see you soon.